Yes, y'all. Yes, y'all. I'm old school, but I keep it funky fresh, y'all. And this is me, y'all. I'm from the deep, y'all. And what you get is what you motherfucking see.
Welcome back, humans! You know what day it is. My name is Hyman, bringing you events on headlines that you didn't even know you needed. And with that said, I'd appreciate it if you would hit that subscription, turn on those notifications, because I'm here twice a week. And I'd appreciate it if once in a while you would smash that like button. It would be pretty awesome. And with that said, I would like to also thank some of you new viewers out there. Woke up today with a bunch of new subscribers. I appreciate y'all for coming through and putting out a little bit of time of your day to join me on my little vent sessions. I like to just vent on random headlines, random topics. I'm also a fan of the fight game. And away we go, humans. So today I thought, with, like I said, some new viewers, it's also getting close to my 200th episode. I thought I would do another conspiracy. It's been a while. I touched on a couple episodes, but this one is a really interesting one. I found this one. It's almost one like you never really hear people talk about. It never really hits the mainstream media. Never really hits no YouTube videos. Not too many that I've seen, anyways. And you don't really see it on any like documentaries and things like that. So, like I said, I've got a book. It's real interesting. It's just a list of conspiracies and some books, and they got some real great information on them. And I'll share the link of what book it is when I'm all finished, but I'm not sharing till I'm done. No spoilers, humans. No, I'm just kidding. I'm really bad for spoilers also. If you're new to the channel and I speak about some movies sometimes, it might come out. I'm really bad with spoilers. So there's a warning there. So back to my conspiracy. This one is really wild. There's a lot of talk of, you hear about these secret societies. You hear about powerful elite groups. And you hear about you hear about them all the time. Some of them still go on today. Supposedly, because the rumor has it, they still go on today. And with that said, you wonder, where it all began, So here's one that some don't even really know about. So many don't really know about, and it actually has it's actually one of the most powerful secret groups or secret societies, It's almost like when you hear about the big three, like the Freemasons or the Illuminati and the NWO, or things like that. Well, right now, our NWO is like the WEC, or the World Economic Forum, or WEF, or whatever the fuck that shit is. But anyways, there's a group out there that might be one of the most powerful groups and that nobody ever speaks of. And I don't even know if I've pronounced it right, but I tried a bunch of times. I even I even put it through the translate to have the robot fucking do it. So it's, they're called the Rosicrucians. And I don't know how many people ever heard of them, but the Rosicrucians go back, I guess, a long time. They started back by it was started by someone, a German individual. I think he was some sort of monk. And his name was Christian. He went by the name of Christian Rosenkreutz, or Rosenkreutz, or Rosenkreutz, it's something like that, which translated as a Rossi cross. So this is where this thing started back in the day, and it had a lot of dark history and a dark rules and rituals. They believe they started some dark magic and things like that. And anyways, that's really wild, when you think about it, because they were different than the other people. So the Catholics were against them, obviously. The Catholics claimed they were Satanists. And these people were the secret group. And the Catholics were like, no, we don't want to mess with these people. They are Satanists, and they believed in dark magic and things like that. So they said they were if the Catholics say they were bad, dang, then that's some really bad shit. But nobody really talked about this group. And it started a long time ago, and it was, it had a grips on everything. And I guess this thing grew, it grew and grew. I guess it started somewhere in the 1400s. And it kept growing and growing. And it made its first American chapter here in America around the 1690s. And they said it had they used the words arcane rituals and arcane rules. These were these things they were doing these. And there's a little bit of description in some of the rituals, and some of them sound familiar when you hear about these stories and conspiracies about celebrities that sell their souls, or you also see some very similar rituals that really seemed like some of that stuff that Mariana Bravovich lady that does that spirit cooking shit. It seems like a lot some of the stuff she does. So these rituals are pretty fucking trippy, and this stuff is very wild. Human, it goes really deep, you know. So they talk about the 1690s, the first American chapter started, and like I said, it had all these dark little rituals they would do, and within they said the 16th and 17th centuries is when, I got it written down here. They said the practices were what they called recycled by a group that they called now, which we know as the Freemasons. That's right, humans. Apparently, the Freemasons recycled. I'm not the one saying this. This is what I read in this book. Apparently, the Freemasons recycled some of these arcane rituals and arcane rules and dark magic rituals, and recycled them, and started their group based off of like a spin off of these Rosicrucians. That's pretty wild when you think about it, because now you hear the Freemasons today and you see them all over the MTV buildings, the Masonic building, and you see these things everywhere. The Freemasons, and you hear all the stories, and you hear all the crazy conspiracy stories. Then you hear the normal shit. So you never know which way to go with those. But this is pretty interesting, I think, humans, because this is documented fact. I don't know if it's like I said, this is what happened. The Freemasons adopted their practices and started their society. And so that's pretty wild. So they say they took their terminology and all their practices and they merged together in the 18th century. Whoa. So they became one. They actually became one group, this Rosicrucians and the Freemasons. And they say today there are 20 different Rosicrucian branches of secret societies now. And they all go under different names and titles, but they all come and they all start, or they came, or supposedly, or apparently, they came. I don't know for a fact. I'm just reading this book that they started from this Rosicrucian secret society, and now there's 20 different branches. Now this book is published in '07, and now we're in 2022. Getting closer and closer to 2023 in the midway. We're almost hitting the midway spot, right? So maybe the number's even bigger now, because it seems like that new World Economic Forum people, that weird crazy guy, seems like he's getting more powerful and starting to make weird rules and shit like that for us, and bringing these crazy rulers into our world. So maybe that's one of the branches. But that's really wild, humans. And they say they're more powerful than ever. And they say nowadays, like where it is today, it goes by another secret name, which a lot of people recognize as the NWO. Yes, that's right, humans. The New World Order. They believe this was the backbone and the birth mother of the New World Order. Through time and time. And they say they claim this. They also claim they have this like elite bloodline, all the way back from one of the pharaohs. I forget which pharaoh it was, but I believe they claim that they have this like royal bloodline of this elite pharaohs. And that's an interesting conspiracy, humans, because it goes all the way back from the 14th century to today. And a lot of conspiracies, like they say they got real hot, and they say they get hot in the 60s, but no. There's a lot of conspiracies that go on deep. So when you get to these conspiracies, it always gets creepy, because sometimes there's like, you don't know like who decided just to start calling them conspiracies, because some people apparently, there was weird connections of some people losing their lives, exposing or telling the truth on some of these stories. So you really don't know like where to go, but it's entertaining. It's also scary sometimes. You can go down these rabbit holes nonstop. Because it seems like they have reaches in all realms of entertainment, all realms of every form of function and light of our lives. And is it true? Is it really true that there's this big group of these powerful elites that just meet every once in a while, like that they say that Bilderberg group and whatever they are, and they meet in this building sometimes, and like so all this time these super powerful people and these super huge elites, come here and plan the way this crappy things that happen in our world today. And if that's true, that's pretty shitty. If all this crap that's going on is handled by people that can sit on a fucking table, that's no wonder this stuff is so shitty. And I would like to know the top average age of all those fucking people sitting at that table making all these fucking shitty things that we have to go through on a daily basis. Whether it's our country or another country or whatever, wherever you reside. Whoever made those rules, man, you suck. I might not be alone on that either, humans. These big groups of these powerful elitists go to these big giant, who knows, 30, 40% tables. Who knows how many there is? I don't know. So they come here and they're the ones who make all these fucking rules. They're the ones who put fucking Biden in the fucking office. I don't know. It's really strange. It's kind of scary, but you don't know really what to believe, and it's also kind of scary if it is true. But I don't know, humans. I really thought that was a fun one to talk about. I thought it was someone that, I hope y'all enjoyed that one because not many people heard about that one. I wanted to share about the Rosicrucians. But anyways, humans, like I said, I'm a big fan of the fight game, and tonight is the night. Not only is it a big fight night, it's a big sports night. There's so much going on this Saturday, from the Formula One racing, the Kentucky Derby I think is going on. There's all kinds of crazy sports going on. And then there's a big UFC fight card going on. Man, is it stacked. And then there's a huge boxing match, which was one of my favorite sports. So in this boxing match tonight is Canelo versus Dmitry Bivol. And this guy looks like a giant guy. To me, he looks pretty big. And people are trying to say, like, oh, man, these guys look pretty similar in size. And I'm like, no. No. This guy looks kind of big, man. Like, and he keeps moving up in weight. And Canelo's like on an amazing fight win streak. He hasn't really lost since he lost to Floyd, I think, I would say. And then when he had the Golovkin matches, I think those were like draws and shit. And he had to draw with somebody else. Excuse me. I think it was with Austin Trout. But anyways, Canelo's on a big, amazing fight run. Hell of a fighter. He's probably like the face of boxing right now, I would say, because, I mean, he is the top dog, man. And he keeps on moving up in weight. And right now he's going into a fight at, 175 pounds, humans. And for his weight and height, he looks like he probably walks around maybe 180 pounds. But that's different when you're fighting a boxer at that weight because you're getting close to heavyweights. You're getting guys that are going to be over 6 feet tall with longer reach and bigger like stances and, can control distance maybe just with their size alone. But I don't question Canelo's skill, man. I mean, I'm sure he's picking his opponents because he, a lot of guys like Floyd Mayweather and some smart fighters reach a certain level. They can kind of hand pick opponents that the styles will look good enough to be entertaining when they know they're going to still win. And that's crazy when they're that good. It also sucks when you want to see him fight certain fighters because I really want to see Canelo fight Benavidez, but I'll get there in a minute. But he's fighting this guy at 175 pounds, and this guy at 175 pounds looks like he's more closer to 200 pounds. And I speak on this on many a times when I bring up the fight game, whenever I talk about the fight talk, about the rehydration. Some of these fighters can drop almost 20 pounds, or some of them, it's been said that they've dropped over 20 pounds over a 24-hour period to make weight, which one of the fighters supposedly didn't make weight last night in UFC, and they stripped him of his belt. Some people are claiming faulty scales, but I don't know. It's a tough business to lose that weight when they do weight cuts. People get extremely drained, and it's dangerous sometimes. Some fights have been canceled because of, organ damage because the guy's a little bit too dehydrated and they got to go and get hooked up to IVs and shit and they can't make the fight. Just trying to make weight. Some of these guys go close to 30 pounds, like I said, and come back to the fight night and they're just almost a whole other weight class or sometimes 2 weight classes when they come into the fight. And it's almost an advantage to them or disadvantage depending on their stamina levels and their workload. So Canelo's at about, like I said, he's going to be closer to around 180, 190. And this guy's going to be closer, I would say Canelo's going to be closer to 180 pounds, I would say. And this guy, maybe 185. But this guy's going to be closer to 200 pounds. This is going to be interesting to me. And some of these fighters now are trying to have a rehydration clause where they can't, have a limit on how much they can bring back, which is smart. But I'm kind of nervous for this fight. I'm a big Canelo fan, but this guy's kind of big, and he's a pretty good puncher. He also puts a high punch output, and this guy looks like he's got a decent chin, and he looks like a good fighter. But we'll see what happens. Like I said, because I don't always count Canelo out, man. My man can fight, and he can figure some guys out. He didn't when he was fighting a guy about that big. Caleb Plant was pretty good, but when he was fighting Kovalev, it seemed like Kovalev had the edge on him because of his size for a minute, but I just didn't think Kovalev had the stamina. I think he was a little too old. So then Canelo kind of weathered the storm from Kovalev, ended up knocking the big guy out. But this young guy, Dimitri Bivol, he's a pretty nice dude, man. It's hard to say nothing negative about him. I see his highlights, and he's pretty good. And he's also very respectful. He's being very respectful to Canelo and their team. And all the Mexican people out there, even spoke some Spanish out there, representing. It's kind of cool. But those guys kind of make, like I said, he looks like he's a really good, decent fighter and solid fighter. But we'll see what happens. Like I said, styles make fights, and this could be a perfect hand-picked style for Canelo. Benavidez, who I really want to see Canelo fight. Like, I feel like that is the big fight. It looks like this guy is just hand-picked. Like, these guys will just be... this could solidify everything. Just, all right, you guys been hyping this fight up. All right, let's get it out the way. And let's say Canelo, beats him and then it's over. Or Benavidez wins, or we'll see. But everybody's been waiting for that one. Same with me. I just like his style. I think he's a good fighter. And I would love to see him go against the great Canelo. But anyways, Benavidez was speaking on the fight. They were interviewing a bunch of trainers and fighters on their picks of the fight. And he said he sparred him a few times, but he didn't want to give up too much. But he kind of did give up a lot. Which makes me, lean towards Canelo more and more about the fight and lose my little nervous bug a little bit. So he said that he boxed him in the rounds, and he said the guy's got a good 1-2. He gets good off the back foot and things like that. But I guess his timing is real easy to get. And we said once he got his timing, once I got his timing, he was able to, I won't go there. But you basically went there. And he's like, I'm sure Canelo will do the same. Yeah, no shit. Because you basically went there. You guys probably saw it, watching his highlights. And he fucking gave up the cheat code. And my man fucking went there. So it's your fault, kind of, if Canelo shoe shines on me. No, it ain't really. Because Canelo's been watching the guy's tape, I'm sure. And that's probably why they handpicked the style. Like I said, some of these guys are just that good. They're that good where they're like, oh, I can see how this guy does this. I can use this and this. And around the middle rounds do this. And then maybe finish him in the late rounds. I was like, oh, it must be nice. It must be nice to just have that kind of skill. Like, oh, you're just going to go down now. I'm just going to make you go down right now. But anyways, I'm going to jump to the UFC card. It's all the way stacked up. I can't wait to see the Gaethje Oliveira fight. Oliveira didn't make weight earlier, and they stripped his belt during the weigh-ins. And some people are saying it's faulty scales. They were using these shady scales. Who knows? But like I said, it's really crazy when you got to do those weight cuts. Also, Chandler is fighting... Tony Ferguson. And Ferguson fought Gaethje in their last fight, and he didn't look that good, man. Gaethje, pummeled his face in really bad. Gaethje had his face looking some fucking bloody, dude. His shit was just fucking bloodied up. It looked really fucking bad, dude. And his face looked worse than Rihanna's. You know what I'm saying? After she was hanging out with Chris Brown and shit. He just got fucked up. They had to stop the fight. You know what I mean? It wasn't like you can't get out of the car and you're locked in. No, they had to fucking they had to stop the fight in the ring. In the cage. So Ferguson's going against Chandler, and Chandler and fucking Gaethje, who's fighting also this tonight, fucking damn, dude, they were in the fight of the year, man. These guys were just beating each other down straight up, toe to toe, going for it. And Gaethje blew my man's leg out. I mean, it was just a great ass fight. I couldn't stop. I think I woke my house up because the fight was on so late, and I was just every time they was punching each other. It was just crazy night. So Gaethje. Man, he beat Ferguson up really bad, too. It was nasty. But him and fucking Chandler were fighting each other, and they went for fight of the year, toe-to-toe, man. Everything. It was just a great fight. And he's fighting Ferguson. And that's going to be a wild fight. That's all I got to say. Because Ferguson still don't quit. The referees had to stop the fight. Ferguson wasn't going to quit. Even with his face all fucking blew out. He was like the Diaz. Those guys just don't quit. So anyways, I'm excited about those fight night humans. And, like I said, and there's also fucking playoff stuff going on. It's a great sport night. It's a great sport night for everybody that's a sport fan like myself. So I hope you all have a great Saturday, and I hope everybody has all the mothers out there have a great Mother's Day for Mother's Day, and I hope you all enjoyed this episode. And if you did, I'd appreciate it if you would hit that subscription, smash that like button, turn on your notifications because I'm here twice a week. And with that said, this has been another episode of Meant to Vent. Till next time, humans. See ya.
Yes,